Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Curfew imposed in sections of Denham town. A curfew has been imposed in sections of Denham town in Kingston West, which began at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 14, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Thursday. The boundaries of the curfew runs north of the intersection of Little King Street and Racecourse Lane, traveling to the fence line forming the western periphery of the Golden Heights housing development, traveling south along the paved gully, and continuing to the intersection of William Street and Upper Rose Lane. It continues east starting at the intersection of William Street and Upper Rose Lane, and continuing south along Rose Lane to the intersection of Beeson Street and Rose Lane. The boundaries followed south starting at the intersection of Beeson Street and Rose Lane, continuing west along Beeson Street to the intersection of Spanish Town Road, and west along Little King Street from Spanish Town to the intersection of Racecourse Lane. The police stated that during the hours of the curfew, all individuals within the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. Clansman trial. Chief Justice again questions why no charges brought against gangsters who become state witnesses. Presiding judge in the Clansman trial, Chief Justice questioned again why police investigators have failed to charge a confessed gangster nor the prosecution's second witness in relation to gang investigations. The prosecution's 14th witness, now on the stand, explained that witness number 2 had confessed to being in the gang and driving other gangsters to commit murders.
Witness number 14 is a detective inspector attached to the Constabulary's Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC. He was facing cross-examination from attorney representing alleged leader of the One-Don faction of the gang, Andre Blackman Bryan. That attorney is Lloyd McFarlane. McFarlane questioned why the police investigators did not caution the witness when he was giving his statement that what he told them could be used against him in court. The witness says he had no indication nor information that the man was anything but a witness. The attorney also insisted the police had no case without the statement of that witness and the first one who taken the stand also confessing he was a member of the gang. The witness dismissed the claim. The Chief Justice later intervened, asking the witness why at the time when the former gangster was giving his statement, the police did not stop him from incriminating himself nor caution him. Justice Sykes asked, quote, "Man walk in station tell police he transported men to commit murders, used to be done, made life or death decisions, and no charge, no nothing. He's free as a bird, sleeping soundly at nights?" The police witness explained that it was his superiors who had made those decisions and he could not speak on the matter. Similar questions were asked of a previous police witness who would inform the court that the man could face criminal charges in the future based on other ongoing investigations. The court also heard today from another police witness, a detective corporal attached to the Constabulary's Major Investigations Division. Her recollection was that she was called to the scene of a double murder in an informal community in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, called the New Nursery. The witness says she recalls seeing the charred remains of 2 people huddled together among the burned rubble of a house. She says she could see the ribs and the skulls of the deceased and smell their burned flesh. She also says she saw spent casings on the scene. The witness says about a month later, she was present for the autopsy of the deceased at the Archer's funeral home. The witness says 2 women claiming to be the mothers of the victims were also present and were later swabbed at a JCF's forensic lab in St. Andrew. A previous witness, a self-confessed ex-gangster, had earlier detailed how Bryan and his cronies had reportedly murdered a couple despite cries for mercy from the woman. That witness says the gangsters had set their house on fire in Twickenham Park, St. Catherine. The witness had said the gangsters murdered the couple when they went in search of a man called Bubba Sparks, who was reportedly a top shooter for Tesha Miller.
Jamaica's fiscal indicators show marginal underperformance for third quarter, but economic recovery remains on track. COVID-19 inflation loomed large as the country's fiscal indicators marginally underperformed for the April to October period. That's according to the latest review of the Jamaica's performance by the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC. However, EPOC Chairman Keith Duncan says the country economy recovery from the pandemic remains on track.
The impacts of COVID-19 and inflation remain at the forefront of worries for the Jamaican economy. According to Mr. Duncan, containment measures against the virus put the country behind on its fiscal indicators.
In August, when we had that third wave, August into September, we had the no movement day and restrictions on moving, COVID-19 restrictions. We saw tax revenues begin to fall below budget, and they fell marginally below budget in September by $0.2 billion and $2 billion tax revenues behind budget in October. So we definitely see that the COVID-19 restrictions had a negative impact on tax revenues. And also in October, where, as we said, was $2 billion behind budget in terms of tax revenues. So
revenue and grants between April and October 2021 performed lower than the first supplementary target, with a shortfall of $2.8 billion, or 0.7%. From April to October 2021, the country generated a fiscal deficit of nearly $19 billion, which exceeded the budgeted deficit of $15 billion. However, this compares favorably to the $72 billion deficit recorded for a similar period in the last fiscal year. Inflation also remains a significant economic risk, according to Mr. Duncan. Noting the move by the Bank of Jamaica to hike interest rates to drive down inflation, he says the country now faces a complex path to navigate over the next year.
increase in interest rates locally and globally will have fiscal implications, as it will increase the cost of servicing Jamaica's debt as we have new issuances or rollover of debt. Secondly, reducing domestic demand will temper growth levels, business activity, and tax revenues. This, however, will be offset somewhat by higher nominal growth, which could see tax revenues increase. Jamaica now faces a complex set of macro fiscal scenarios in the delicate balance of living with COVID-19, along with the knock-on effects of inflation over the next year. This will require astute management from the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance and Planning, as Jamaica seeks to continue on its growth trajectory.
However, the EPOC chair says Jamaica's projections for growth remain positive.
However, the PIOJ estimates that we will continue on our growth path with a 6.3% projected for the September quarter, with restaurants and hotels driving that significantly with a 14.7% increase. This is due to the increase in stopover arrivals and estimated expenditure of US $463.4 million. The economy is expected to return to pre-COVID levels by the end of financial year 2022-2023. It is expected that, and the IMF has also validated that, expected growth of 8.2%, 8.25% in 2021-22, and 3.5% in 22-23.
Jamaica's fallen prey to online crime since COVID-19.
Drizzle, I understand that your image, your name has been literally stolen by scammers in Jamaica.
That's correct.
Tell me exactly what has happened to you.
Okay, so for the past 2 years, I would say, there have been numerous fake pages that would surface on social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tinder, even platform that I'm not on, because Tinder is something that I'm not on personally. And as far as TikTok, with images, and sometimes they use my images with other names, but recently they have been using my images with my names as well as other names. So now, even on Instagram alone, I can see over 30 fake pages with my images.
How has this affected you?
I would say very badly, because what they do with the pages are no good. They would go around and scam people in many different ways. So some would use forex trading, some would use con art scam, like they would look people, look man, take their money, take phone card, take stuff from them. Some would sell items to people like cars, and it's a very bad look, because what they do is they take the people's money and then they give them nothing in return. So it's a scam with my pictures.
Have you been approached by anyone who has been scammed?
Yes, I have. Okay, so I've been approached twice actually. So one was from a man. I was walking in half a tree one day and a man called me Ashley and he grabbed me like drape up grab. He was saying that he has been sending me money for months. He was living in London, I believe. He's been sending me money for months, phone card, anything I asked for, and he got nothing in return. So he kept sending this person money, thought he was in a relationship with me. The person gave him the name Ashley. However, upon his return to Jamaica, the person blocked him. So when he saw me in the street, he thought it was me. I had to prove to him that that was not me.
How frightening was that?
Very frightening. Okay, he had a lot of anger into him. So for me, I thought I was going to lose my life.
What have you done to try to erase what's happening in your life or to reduce what is happening in your life?
Well, I went to the cybercrime unit in Jamaica, downtown. I believe they're called CTOC. And I made a report. However, there's not much the police can do at this time until Facebook, Instagram, or any of the social media platform responds to them. I've also made multiple reports and I've made people report the pages for them to be taken down. Normally, Instagram would intervene and take them down. However, since COVID, they have been using an artificial intelligence system that doesn't do well. So no luck.
I understand that recently someone tried to sell a car using your profile.
Not my profile, but my picture and my name. So they created a page for themselves on Facebook. That's the platform that I don't use any at all. They created a page for themselves using my pictures and my name. Because unlike Instagram, you can't have two profiles with the same name. But on Facebook, you can have even 50 pages with the same name.
Oh.
Multiple Giselle Simmons on Facebook, but only one Giselle Simmons on Instagram.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about what happened to the people trying to purchase the vehicle.
Okay, so there was this guy, he owns a car sourcing company. So what he does is source car, either buy them and sell them back, or he would send people to buy them and get a commission. So he was interested in buying the car. It's actually a 2016 Tida. He was interested in buying the car and he was supposed to meet up with the person on Friday of last week. So when he couldn't get in contact with them, he messaged me on Instagram. However, I had met in an accident and I wasn't on Instagram on the Friday. So he messaged a friend of mine. Speaking to him, he was asking, hey, Giselle's still selling the Tida that, she posted on Facebook. So my friend was like, Tida? Giselle don't have a Tida. What are you talking about? So he proceeded to show him, like screenshots of the conversation he was having with the person and the meetup time, etc. And that's where my friend told him, no, that was a scam. I'm not the person. I got in contact with the guy, I spoke to him, and he was letting me know that the person, they used my pictures, same order as how I would post them on my Instagram, they repost them. So it's like they watch to see when I post and then they repost them on Facebook with the same caption that I use.
Do you think it's time for you to take a break from social media owing to what is happening to you?
I'm a business person and I use my social media platform for business because I have 4 businesses and they're all social media surrounded. So I would say that would be a little bit impossible because that's how I promote my business.
Have you tried to reach out to any of the people who are using your profile?
They block me. Some block me before I even find out about them, and then some block me after. They just block me. So there's this person posing as Kanika Jones, I believe. Her name is Kanika Jones on Facebook, but she's using my images. So I had reposted it on my Instagram, asking people to, help me report the page for it to be taken down. And just to let them be aware that it's actually a fake page scamming people. When the person behind the page, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, because, male do those stuff as well. When the person behind the page realized that, it was being reported a lot and Facebook was sending them messages, they posted to say, oh, people are bad mind and I'm just bad mind trying to get the page taken down because it's their real page and they're not doing anything bad. And I was being malicious.
So, in other words, there's no hope for you then?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think they're idle. They don't have much to do. I don't know. It is all right. It is so bad. I remember, I think it's like 2 months ago, there was a girl using my images on Instagram. She reached out to me and she was like, "Hi, Giselle." And I was confused because I'm like, "Isn't this my pictures with another name?" So I responded, I'm like, "Hi, how may I assist?" She's like, "Okay, so she's been talking to this guy overseas, pretending to be me for some time, but apparently he's picking up that it's not me, and he asked her to take a picture like this." So she sent it to me and she's like, "Hey, so this guy is supposed to send me some money, but he believes it's you. Could you take a picture with 2 fingers up?"
Excuse me, I'm in a state of shock.
Yeah, so she asked me to take a picture with 2 fingers up. And I'm like, "What?" So she's like, "Oh, don't try to stop my food. This is my income. Just do it. Da, 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 da. I wasn't blessed to be as pretty as you."
Let me ask you another question. Giselle, have you ever been threatened?
Yes, I've been threatened a few times by, most threats come from email though. So they would email me. So by people who have been scammed. But once I could prove that it wasn't me, sometimes they don't go further. They'll be like, "Whoa, I didn't know it wasn't you," etc.
But don't you think that someone may just believe one day that it's you and that your life is at stake?
Yes, I do. But I'm trying. Not much I can do. And I mean, people are so cruel.
What is the message that you'd like to send to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those people who are the CEOs and you believe that they could be doing more to help people like you?
I mean, for me personally, I think it's too easy to create a page on Instagram, Facebook, and those platforms. It's very easy. You don't need much. I think what they should implement is a ID system. So you have to register with an ID. That's the best I think they could do, and you have to register with a real name.
With 3 IDs, you think?
With an ID, with any IDs, your driver's license, your national ID. I actually think they should implement an ID system. So once you upload an ID, that's the only way you'll get to use a specific name and image. That's what I believe. But there's no other way, to really prove that it is you unless you have an ID in the system. And it's too easy to create an Instagram or a Facebook page these days. Very easy. And if it's a business page, you have to have a just verification, business verification. You have to have a business certificate.
Do you believe they have made a lot of money using your name and your photo?
A lot of money. I can tell you that personally because there'd be guys in my DM always wanting to offer things. I personally would never take it. I'm not that type of person, and I can vouch for myself. I would never take anything from anybody. I'm a very independent girl. But if so much person can message me and I decline them, they're using my images so they don't care what people see. So they are going to take it.
I'm sure there are other people. Do you know of other persons this is happening to?
A lot. I think it's happened to most social media influencers or popular people, so to speak, a lot. Because I've seen fake pages with my own friend's profile.
It looks like people who are in the South African region and in other countries have been using my images and posts internationally to scam people internationally.
But what type of scamming we're talking about? How big? On what scale?
I'd say from Forex, saying that I can help you with stocks, which I can't because I know nothing about stocks or Forex. So they're using my lifestyle and my posts and my seminars that I do because I do motivational speeches at schools or at companies. So they would just use a post from a motivational speech and then they would just say Forex seminar.
How has that affected you then? Seeing that it's not your name?
That has affected me because in any country I want to expand to, the likelihood of people seeing my image is a lot. So if I come across like somebody on a plane or somebody in a business center saying that I scammed them, it's I mean, that's a risk.
I understand what you're saying.
That's a risk.
How have you tried to get back your image then, or to have them stop using your image rather? What have you done?
Alright, so thus far, I have contacted CTOC. Also, my lawyer, she has contacted Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. But thus far, nothing has happened since. I have received threats because people have been using my image to scam people. So I believe that the persons who have gotten scammed, they're coming to me saying that a threat to me, sending a threat my way.
How did you find out that this was happening, by the way?
So a follower of mine sent it to me via DM saying that these people are trying to be me on social media and it looks like they're scamming people.
So have you gone to any site and seen your photos being used?
Yeah.
Where have you gone?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn,
What are the names?
Tinder. I'm even on Tinder. As Mark.
What are the other names that are being used with your image? Did you screenshot any of
I
them?
screenshotted them. I reported them. Oh no, nothing is done. It's still up and trending.
You're trending.
I'm trending.
Why have you come out with your story?
I've come out with my story because one, I just want to make my name and my image clear that I do not scam. I'm not a scammer and I'm not a forex trader. I'm not a stock trader. I don't do stocks. I don't do forex any at all. So I'm coming out publicly, locally and internationally to let people know that if they see my face or my images or my posts connecting myself to stocks or forex, it's not me. It's not me. That's a scam. So now, anywhere that I go, right now I really don't go in a large or crowded or populated area. And if I do, I am well guarded.
What do you mean by well guarded? Can you elaborate on that?
Well guarded, which means that I have bodyguards around with me.
So it's costing you a lot.
Yes,
then.
it is.
Do you believe that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are just too busy to take up your case?
Definitely. Definitely. I believe that I'm just this boy or just this little youth in Jamaica. So I'm not a big business owner like a Amazon or a Sandals. So no, I'm nothing to them.
You mean nothing to
I
them?
mean nothing to them, no.
And you don't have the power to shut them down?
I don't have the power to shut them down, no. Not without the help from the people or Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. Everybody has to help, or else my future is tarnished.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.